The sky was a serene shade of blue, and the peaks of the Swiss Alps carved sharp lines into the horizon. A faint wisp of cloud brushed the summit of Dam, rising proudly above the Sasfi Valley. The morning felt deceptively calm, a gentle breeze, crystal clear air, and the glacier's surface glinting under the sun. Each step crunched beneath Mark Weber's boots, the crust of snow giving way to the dense ice beneath. He adjusted the strap of his backpack and checked the GPS. Beside him trotted his small companion, a chihuahua named Bella, her short legs pattering across the fragile snow path as if she weren't the slightest bit cold. Mark often wondered how something so tiny didn't freeze at this altitude. But Bella had always been full of surprises. "Don't run too far ahead, Bella," he called, tightening his hat. "There are crevasses out here. Be careful." Bella glanced back at him, wagged her tail once, and continued trotting ahead. Up ahead lay a snow bridge, a pristine white arc over a dark void, easily mistaken for solid ground. The most dangerous kind. Mark had crossed here before. He knew the route, checked the forecasts, everything seemed safe. Everything, except for the nagging feeling in his gut. A subtle tension had weighed on him since morning. He couldn't place it, but he couldn't ignore it either. As he stepped onto the bridge, Bella suddenly barked, not playfully, not out of annoyance. A sharp, high-pitched bark, the kind she used when she sensed danger. "It's fine." He called back with a wave, taking another step, and then the world vanished. A crack, a lurch, then silence. Mark felt himself falling. Air rushed past his ears, his limbs flailed. The white glare of the glacier turned to blue as he plunged into darkness. He tried to scream, but his voice caught in his throat. He slammed into ice walls, spun sideways, bounced again, the momentum pulling at his gear. Then, impact. And everything went still. For a moment, he didn't know if he was alive. Pain bloomed slowly, then the cold set in, deep and unforgiving. He lay on his side, one boot half off, his right arm pinned under him. His head throbbed. Above him, a sliver of light marked the narrow opening, like a skylight into another world. He guessed the drop to be about 25 meters. The walls around him glistened blue and slick. He tried to move, legs responsive, chest painful, ribs maybe cracked, head dizzy. But he was alive. "Bella." He croaked, "Bella." Silence, then a bark from above. That same sharp, frantic bark. She hadn't run. She hadn't fled. She was still there. "Good girl," he whispered. Stay near. Someone will come." But would they? GPS tracking was spotty up here. He had sent his itinerary to a friend, but no one knew the exact timing. If Bella wandered off, they'd never know where he was, and she was so small. Could she even communicate the danger? Time blurred, the cold seeped into his bones. He began to lose sensation in his fingers. His thoughts slowed, became muddy. Only the distant bark kept him tethered to consciousness. Above, Bella circled frantically. She returned to the crevice's edge again and again, barking, whining, scratching at the snow. Sometimes she lay flat, ears back, whining toward the hole. The vast glacier stretched empty in every direction. No other soul in sight. Then, a distant rumble. She raised her head. Her ears perked. The unmistakable sound of rotors echoed across the ice. Bella bolted toward the sound, then raced back to the edge. She barked louder, leapt in place, darted out, circled, and returned, a frantic pattern of motion designed to catch attention. From the cockpit of an Air Zermatt helicopter, pilot Marcus Brenner was scanning the terrain. The sudden, erratic movement on the glacier caught his eye. "Zoom in," he said over the comms. "There's a dog." The camera feed confirmed it. A tiny dog on the ice, running erratically, always returning to a specific point. "She's trying to tell us something." The chopper hovered, snow scattered in gusts as it descended. Bella darted back but didn't retreat far. She kept barking, insistent. To rescuers, Franz and Leo exited the helicopter and approached cautiously. Franz knelt beside Bella. "What is it, little one?" he asked gently. Bella jumped back, barked once, turned, and sat at the edge of the crevasse. She whined softly, staring into the abyss. Leo joined them, brushing snow from the rim and peering over. There's movement. I see someone. We've got a survivor. Franz grabbed his radio, subject located. Alive, approximately 25 meters down, requesting rappel gear immediately. Down below, Mark heard the hum grow louder, the sound now unmistakably mechanical. He blinked against the sudden brightness as a shadow passed over the opening above him. He wasn't dreaming. Help had come, voices echoed, commands, metal clinks. And then, a rope. Hang on, we're coming down. Tears stung his frozen cheeks. A red figure descended into the shaft, face shielded by goggles, ropes taut against the icy walls. The rescuer reached him quickly, assessed him with practiced hands. You're lucky. And your dog, she's amazing. We're getting you out of here. They strapped Mark into a rigid harness. The ascent was slow and jerky. Each tug lifted him closer to warmth, to air, to life. Above, Bella sat motionless at the edge. When Mark's helmet emerged into view, she whimpered and sprang forward. As soon as the medics gave the all-clear, she leapt onto the stretcher, pressing her tiny body against his. You stayed, he murmured. You didn't leave. A white ceiling, and for drip, and the sterile scent of antiseptic. That was the world Mark awoke to. Muffled voices, monitor beeps. His body ached, but he was awake. A woman in white leaned over him, smiling. Good morning, Mr. Weber. You're at the clinic in Visp. You've got some bruises, mild hypothermia, and a cracked rib. No internal bleeding. You're incredibly lucky, Bella. He rasped. She's here, right outside. Hasn't left your door. We've made an exception. She's a hero, after all. The door opened, and Bella padded in, claws ticking softly on the tile. She wore a tiny vest labeled, Service Dog, Access Permitted. She leapt onto the chair beside his bed, then onto the mattress, nuzzling her head into his chest. Mark's eyes welled. He wrapped his arm around her. I'm alive, he whispered. Because of you. 2 days later, there was another knock, this time from a journalist and cameraman. Swiss national television had caught wind of the story. We'd love to share this. The world needs to meet Bella. Mark blushed but nodded. Footage aired that night. A chopper over the glacier, rescuers descending, and a small dog barking on the snow. Then an interview with Franz. We would never have found him without her. She led us, no training, no guidance, just instinct, loyalty, intelligence. The story went viral. Bella received gifts, letters, and honorary mentions. Toy companies offered her endorsements. Animal rights groups praised her intuition. 2 weeks later, Mark was discharged. He limped with a crutch, but Bella walked proudly beside him. They returned to their apartment. The familiar creak of the door, the soft couch. He dropped his backpack, the same one from the glacier, in the corner. Bella hopped up onto the couch beside him. He looked at her and smiled. You know, he said softly, I thought I was rescuing you when I adopted you. He paused, but it turns out. You rescued me. Bella looked up at him, then gave a tiny sigh, almost like a nod.